This is Trinity Storm and you are watching 5th part of What If Naruto was betrayed by Jiraiya during 3 years training trip. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share and subscribe to the channel. Now wasting no more time, let's start the story.
Country of the Waves. A loud slam awakens a certain pervert, who struggles to move but finds himself strapped to a chair. The last thing Jiraiya remembers is going to Iwa to find and kill Naruto. "It's about time you woke up," says a voice. Jiraiya focuses his blurry vision on Tsunade, who is dressed in black tights and a sports bra, her blonde hair in a bun. "Tsunade? What? What happened?" says Jiraiya. Tsunade grabs Jiraiya's chin and leans in closer. "Let's start with the most recent. You murdered Onoki the Sandame Tsuchikage and lost an arm as a result," she says this while pushing his face back. "Onoki? No. No, I killed Naruto and cleansed you of his demonic taint," yells Jiraiya. Tsunade shakes her head, revealing her fox ears. "Jiraiya, I apologize. You did not murder Naru-kun. You murdered Onoki," she claims. Tsunade grabs Jiraiya's index finger and snaps it back. Tsunade smirks as Jiraiya screams in pain, "I have so many plans for you. Naruto assigned you to me as punishment," she claims. Tsunade is fighting his taint. "You're a nice person," Tsunade shakes her head as Jiraiya says. "Do you believe, Jiraiya, that you have done nothing wrong, or that Naruto has me under his control?" Jiraiya is not present. "Naruto revealed everything to me. The Black Book, as well as your plans to turn me into a subservient slut for you to nut inside and pump out Senju children," says Tsunade. "He's deceiving you. I'm confident I can make you love me. I can relieve your discomfort." "Gya!" Jiraiya screams as Tsunade crushes his foot beneath her own. "My agony? You are the cause of my pain," Tsunade yells, her honey-colored slits piercing his dark eyes. "Your actions enabled Danzo to assassinate the Uzumaki clan, whose blood flows through my veins. Dan's demise. Were you also responsible for Nawaki's death? The fact that you went behind Sensei's back and helped Danzo says a lot," says Tsunade. Jiraiya tries hard not to cry out in pain. "That hunky guy didn't deserve you. Nawaki happened by chance. Orochimaru did this in order to obtain Senju DNA. I had nothing to do with it." As Tsunade snaps his thumb, he says but screams. "Every word that comes out of your mouth is a lie disguised as the truth. Were you unable to see my happiness? That you would join forces with them to make me suffer? Tell me if you enjoyed seeing me cry over Dan's body. Did you expect me to run into your arms?" Tsunade begins by clearing her throat. "Jiraiya, please. Please make love to me. Please help me forget," in a soft tone, Tsunade adds. "No, but I would have assisted you in forgetting. You didn't need such a frail man as him. You require someone like me. A man of strength," Jiraiya, squirming in his chair, says. "No, I didn't want a wildman like you in a man. A man of strong convictions and determination. Like Dan and Naruto," Tsunade says, and Jiraiya glares, but a smirk forms on Tsunade's face at the thought of Naruto. "We've also had sex. I've never been made to love like that in my life." Tsunade says, "He's huge too," and Jiraiya lurches forward. "Era. Did I hit a nerve, Jiraiya? Does it irritate you to know that Naruto has touched your beloved body?" She continues. "You aren't Tsunade. This is one of Naruto's tricks. You died, and he murdered you," Jiraiya expresses himself. Tsunade shakes her head and grabs some pliers, saying, "Believe what you want," to Jiraiya, and ripping his prison shirt off. I will take my pound of flesh from you, and then you have my permission to die, Jiraiya screams as Tsunade begins to rip his skin off with the pliers. She goes on with his blood permeating the room and bleeding flesh on the floor. Jiraiya whimpers in pain, but Tsunade breaks another finger to rouse him. Please halt. I apologize. I apologize, he murmurs. So now that I'm torturing you, you apologize. You aren't Jiraiya. You're only sorry because you were discovered, Tsunade says, throwing the pliers aside. Jiraiya takes a deep breath as Tsunade wipes her bloodstained hands. The door opens behind them, and Naruto enters with a blank expression on his face, saying, "Oof. I thought Anko was physical. Damn you, D-Demon. Konoha will provide." Why, you're down, Jiraiya sputters, but his breath is labored because a chakra rod protrudes from his chest. Konoha will fall because of their sins, Naruto says, his hand on the rod. Jiraiya sputters up some blood as his eyes weaken and his lungs fill with blood, saying, "Minato and Kushina will hate you." "No, grandfather," Naruto says, widening Tsunade's eyes. "I thought you were lying about that," says Tsunade. Naruto sniffs the air and rubs his nose. "No, it was correct. Dad wanted to tell him, but he saw what a jerk Jiraiya was," he explains, and two clones appear. "Burn him and throw the ashes into the sea," Naruto says, looking at Tsunade. "Do you feel better?" he asks, and she nods slowly. "A little, but I won't feel better until Konoha's sacrifices are avenged," Tsunade says before leaving the clones to their work. Konohagakure. Danzo looks at the remnants of the rookies. "You were unable to capture Sanbi. Shikamaru Nara has gone missing. Rock Lee is permanently paralyzed, and Neji Hyuga is blinded," he claims. Kuroi Yuhi was there, as was Itachi, Sasuke says, a rage on his face. Danzo extends his hand to calm the last Uchiha. Itachi has most likely abandoned Akatsuki. Aim, according to Orochimaru, has died, he claims. "When are we going to track her down?" "She's out there," Sasuke says. "We cannot act carelessly. With the other countries, tensions are high. With the Chunin exams approaching, we don't want to tarnish our reputation." Danzo claims. Ino quickly follows Sasuke with the rookies in tow as he turns in a huff. Orochimaru emerges from the shadows. Learning that Itachi-kun, or rather Chan, is female is intriguing, but not being able to obtain the Sanbi is a disadvantage. Also gone is the young Nara, he claims. Rock Lee isn't a big loss, but Nara is, Danzo says, and Orochimaru laughs. Naruto-kun or Ghost-kun is one step ahead of us. I'm curious if he has spies in the village, Orochimaru adds his thoughts. It doesn't matter. Jiraiya will be dealt with before the Chunin exams in 2 months. Iwa will no longer have a foothold, Danzo claims. What a pity. Jiraiya is a powerful man despite his ridiculous behavior. He did give you the ability to change a prophecy in our favor, says Orochimaru with a shake of his head. Danzo leans back in his chair. It meant so much to me. The boy is not my tool, and we have no control over Uzushio's jutsu or wealth, he claims. If Naruto-kun isn't viable, perhaps another Uzumaki, Orochimaru says, raising an eyebrow at Danzo. Her DNA should still be in cold storage, Orochimaru adds. Is it going to work? The subject must be alive. Danzo asserts. Orochimaru cups his chin and crosses his arms. Does it matter at this point? She is capable of bringing Naruto to heel, he claims. Fine, do it, Danzo says, and Orochimaru darkly chuckles. Won't Naruto-kun be surprised? Orochimaru wondered. Meanwhile, Sasuke roars as he swipes down several trees with his Chikuto, thinking, damn you Itachi. Look at you. Full of rage. Datbeo. mocks a voice. Dobi? Screams Sasuke as he whips around and sees Naruto in his Kill Me orange. Another voice says, foolish little brother. As Itachi appears, Sasuke freezes and yells, die, cutting him in half. Damn Teme. So angry, Naruto mocks, and Sasuke slashes him in half. You will never kill us, Sasuke. Your vengeance will never be satisfied, both say in unison. Yes it will, Sasuke roars, attacking both but to no avail. Sasuke is aware of a presence behind him.
Sasuke-kun, a voice begins, but Sasuke swings back.
He snaps out of his delusion and sees Ino's perplexed head plopping on the ground, as well as her headless body crumpling onto the ground. Sasuke, what have you done? Says Kakashi as he decapitates Ino. She got in the way, Sasuke says as he shunshuns off, returning his gaze to Ino's corpse. Kakashi kneels down to close Ino's eyes and pulses his chakra, summoning several Anbu. Bring her to the morgue and notify Hokage-sama, says Kakashi, and the Anbu nods. Danzo was staring at Sasuke an hour later. Do you understand the implications of this? Ino was the Yamanaka clan's heiress, he claims. She got in the way. I was practicing. It's her fault she got so close, Sasuke says this without mentioning the delusional encounter. Her parents are shaken by this, but I have taken care of it, Danzo says as he leans back in his chair. So, what happens now? Sasuke asks, shaking his head. Nothing. I'll announce that Ino was killed by Ghost and his associates while on a mission outside the village. Danzo claims. Sasuke nods slowly, but out of the corner of his eye, he notices Naruto with a mocking expression on his face and Itachi with a disappointed expression on her face, internally infuriating the Uchiha Saiyan. After 2 months. The Flames daimyo was enraged and terrified of the man across from him and the other daimyo. The Earth daimyo has a serious expression on his face and a large scroll on the table. So how will you explain this, he says, opening the scroll. As the heads of Jiraiya, Sai, Torun, and Fu are presented before them, the other daimyo gasp. Not only did Jiraiya of the Sannin murder our Tsuchikage, but 3 Konoha shinobi attempted to flee with him, says the Earth daimyo. This appears to confirm the Black Book that was sent out months ago. For years, Konoha and Fire Country have been undermining our countries, the Water daimyo comments, with Mei and Yugo and Anko under henges behind him. I would agree, and you allowed the execution of a hero of my country for frivolous reasons, Koyuki says. I did not sanction anything remotely similar to this, and that book is a lie, says the Fire daimyo, but the others do not believe him. Both Naruto and Hinata could sense Anbu watching them as they walked through the village. Must be infuriating that they can't attack us, Naruto muses, and Hinata leans into him, but her eyes narrow behind her cloth as her father approaches. Can I assist you, Hyuga-san? Asks Naruto. You have such arrogance to stroll through our village with such impunity, Hiyashi says, his hands in his robe. It's time for the Chunin exams. Hyuga-san. Menma crimes, Kun's in your opinion, are temporarily suspended. He is impenetrable, Hinata says in hushed tones. Neji is blind because of you, Tenten says as he lands behind them. Hinata returns her gaze to Tenten, then consider it a blessing. He can now see the world as it is, she claims. Tenten reaches into her pouch, but Hinata appears inches away from her throat, saying, finish that action, and you forfeit your life. She is correct. For the duration of the Chunin exams, we have diplomatic immunity. You can try and fail to kill us once it's completed. With a slight smirk, Naruto walks past Hiyashi. Hinata takes a step back and walks past her father. I heard your oldest daughter was murdered a while back. It's a shame, she says as she catches up to Naruto. Hiyashi clenches his fists and walks faster, leaving a stewing Tenten behind, but she quickly vanishes. Naruto and Hinata continue on, but after about 20 feet, they are distracted by the sound of chirping birds. As Sasuke slams into the ground with his Chidori, Naruto grabs Hinata around the waist and vanishes. Where are you? Screams Sasuke as he emerges from the dirt cloud, filled with rage and delusion. Several Anbu appear in the vicinity of Sasuke. Calm down, Uchiha-sama. Kuroi Yuhis cannot be harmed, says Bull. Naruto and Hinata watch from a nearby roof, but Hinata dismissively shakes her head. His mental state and eyes are degrading, she says. Itachi really messed with him. Add to that the fact that the Itachi he knew was only a mask. It won't be long before Danzo loses control of him. He's been killed once, Naruto says, and Hinata turns to face him. Naruto sighs and raises his glasses. He even murdered Ino. It appears that he didn't even blink. He continues to explain, and Hinata shakes her head once more. I've found you, Ghost, a voice says, and the pair turns around to see Yukito in a cat-like crouch. Naruto removes his glasses and looks at the Nibi container. I'm a wanted man. Yugito-san. I'm not going to be out in public, he claims. Kitten, he's stronger than ever. I can also feel Shukaku, Isobu, and Seiken's chakras within him, Matabi says, widening Yugito's eyes. Ghost-san. Raikage-sama wishes to meet with you, Yugito says, standing tall. Naruto sighs and looks to Hinata. Is the Hachibi here as well? He asks, but Yugito shakes her head. Darui has decided to stay in Kumo, Yugito responds, and Naruto sighs, taking Hinata's hand in his. That is acceptable. Yugito-san, lead the way, Naruto says as the three disappear into Shunshin. The three reappeared in one of the Kumo ninja training grounds, where they were met by A, Killer B, and Mabui. I found him, Raikage-sama, Yugito says. As the trio approaches, A looks over at Naruto and says, you're the man on everyone's lips these days. Naruto folds his arms and tilts his head. Indeed I am, but I'm curious why you want to see me, he says. For one thing, you spoke to one of my ninja and warned us about the Akatsuki, but I have a feeling it's more than that, A responds, and Naruto casts a glance at Hinata. However, Naruto slams his hand on the ground, thinking, Fuinjutsu. Sight and sound barrier, shocking the Kumo ninja. Now we can talk freely, Hinata says as she removes her cloth. You're a Hyuga, A says, his eyes widening at the sight of Hinata's Byakugan eyes. I am. The one your village attempted to steal, and my uncle died to protect, Hinata says. However, we are not here to discuss the past. Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze is my real name. Kushina Uzumaki and Minato Namikaze's son, Naruto says, shocking A and his entourage, except for Yugito. A casts a glance at Yugito before returning his attention to Naruto. So, why is the son of a revered hero? No, not in Konoha, he inquires. Because Konoha saw fit to violate my father's wishes, but this is due to the Sandaime keeping my ancestry hidden. Fearful of external enemies. The current Hokage, on the other hand, saw fit to use me as his personal attack dog and hired Jiraiya to do so, Naruto elaborates. How did you get away, yo? B inquires, and Naruto rubs his chin. Through various means and for nearly 3 years, I have been plotting to bring certain ideals to fruition. One of these is the practice of Jinchuriki, Naruto responds with a pause. My goal is to break the wheel of Jinchuriki by taking the Biju away from the elemental nations, Naruto continues. Would you like to take away my Jinchuriki? Naruto's eyes narrow behind his glasses as A yells. Is that your Jinchuriki? Jinchuriki are not your property. They are human beings, and the Biju are not mindless beasts. With the Biju, the Shodem Hokage made a critical error. He distributed them like toys, and the other nations went to war for more power. He should have let them be free, but he, like many others, was afraid of their power. With a slight edge to his voice, Naruto states. Naruto-kun is right. As strong as the Shoden was, his thinking was similar to that of the current regimes of the great villages. Biju are merely tools to be used. They are not sentient beings. Hinata says this with her pearl eyes fixed on the Raikage. So you believe you can simply take the Biju? No country will simply give up their most powerful weapon, Ace says, frowning, but Naruto removes his glasses, revealing his Rinnegan. I can. I was able to save Isobu the Sanbi. Kiri was willing to help Seiken the Rokubi. So your claim that no nation would has been proven false. The Cage will also agree with my choice. He has experienced the agony of being a Jinchuriki. You can say weapons casually because you have never known that life. You have no idea what a Jinchuriki's life is like, as stated by Naruto. You know I respected your father, but you're just a kid thinking he can change the status quo that has gone on since the great villages were formed, Ace says to Yugito, Mabui, B, and Hinata. Naruto rolls his neck but puts on his glasses again. I don't think I'll be able to settle this with words. As a result, actions will have to speak for me. Yondaime Raikage, pay attention. I'll come to get Yugito and Darui. You can either get in my way or step aside. Your option, he claims. What's to stop me from outing you to Konoha? A asks, but Naruto shakes his head. Tell them. I couldn't care less, Naruto says, looking at Mabui. Seems you were right, he says, shocking them. Mabui takes a step forward, sighing, Naruto-kun, I warned you. He is a muscle-bound idiot who will not listen to reason, she claims. What? You're a traitor. A exclaims. Mabui narrows her green eyes at A and says, perhaps, but I believe in Naruto plan, kuns as she moves closer to him. Naruto grabs the hands of Mabui and Hinata before lowering the barrier and disappearing in a white flash. What do we do, brother? Asks the bee. Did you know his plan? Or that bitch? A exclaims, but Yugito shakes her head. No, Raikage-sama, I did not. He only informed me of the Akatsuki threat, Yugito responds quickly. With a flash of lightning, A clenches his fists, we must prepare ourselves. We'll also send an encrypted message to the Hokage regarding his missing Jinchuriki, he gives the order. Raikage-sama. That is taking things too far. Naruto was willing to talk things out, Yugito claims. That kid has no concept of how the world works. Jinchuriki use has been around for a long time. Shoden of Konoha started it, and Jinchuriki thinks he can stop it, A says as he exits the training ground B. A appears to be revealing his true nature. Mabui noticed it and decided to side with Naruto. He has no idea what he has done to Kumogakure. Naruto-kun is the new Kyuubi who possesses my father's eye, Matabi says, widening Yugito's eyes. And, judging by the Hyuga, she has also gone through with Sosei. In other words, she is comparable to Shukaku the Ichibi, Matabi adds more shocking Yugito. The Namikaze estate. A white flash fills the basement and then fades away, revealing Naruto, Hinata, Anko, Mabui, and Yugo. Yugu inquires, how did you get the Raikage's assistant on your side? I happened upon her venting about A and we got to talking, says Naruto. He actually listened and consoled me. I listened as he explained his strategy. We also discussed his summons, and the more I learned, the more I wanted to assist him, Mabui elaborates. As Lucas descends from the ceiling, Naruto creates a clone and it vanishes to retrieve the others. I discovered Fu, Lucas says as he lands in Naruto's hand. Good, did you place a seal? Naruto asks as he and his friends head upstairs to await the others. Lucas nods. How did the fire daimyo try to divert attention away from himself? Asks Naruto. Anko smirks as he laughs. He attempted and failed. Doubt has settled in, and the other daimyo accuse him of everything, she claims. There will be a severe backlash, Yugo says. Lucas was walking up Naruto's arm as the blonde sighed, but we'll have a problem, he said, and both perked up. Naruto-kun discussed the Biju with the Raikage and took Mabui-san, but the Raikage is no different than Konoha. He considers Jinchuriki to be tools. He also intends to reveal that Ghost and Naruto-kun are the same person, Anko scoffs as Hinata declares. Well, it was fun while it lasted, Anko says, but Naruto crosses his legs, Lucas on his head. It makes no difference. Konoha is unable to locate us. Seals are present in the wave compound. Koyuki has more than enough defenses. I already returned her to Spring and replaced her with a hanged clone, Naruto says with a smirk, but won't it demoralize them to know that their resident demon has returned? He continues, and Anko laughs. I can only imagine their expressions, Anko says. Footsteps echo as the other members of Kuroi Yuhi, with the exception of Mei, make their way upstairs. What is she doing here? Tsunade asks, as Naruto explains what they've discovered so far. This certainly adds to the confusion. That is, Danzo may suspect. We're still alive, Tsunade says something, but Naruto shakes his head. It won't make a difference. We're dealing with some major blows tonight. We'll split up to cover our objectives, and you'll have a clone with you for exit. Naruto begins and clears his throat, first. Tsunade and Shizune will be heading to the hospital to cripple their medical supplies. Many thanks to Lucas and the kids. Orochimaru's plans to resurrect my mother were revealed to me, Tsunade gasps but growls as he continues. He may have already done so, but I want you both to destroy their cold storage just in case, as well as bring me Ino's body, Naruto says. Ino? Sakura exclaims, as Naruto sighs. Sasuke apparently killed her in a fit of rage. Like Karen and Obito, I can use Ino as a path. I can replace her with Hidan. What better way to demoralize them than to expose their sins? Sakura frowns as Naruto states. Ino, Sakura says quietly. Tsume, Hana, and Yugo, I'm interested in all three of you. To destroy the barrier that surrounds the village. Konan and Anko travel to Route HQ to find Fu. Lucas knows the way, Naruto declares, and all four nod. Hinata and Sakura will extract Hanabi, Naruto says, his eyes widening and flickering. Thank you very much, Naruto-kun, she says. Itachi, Kuretsuchi, and I are on our way to the Uzumaki Mask Temple. Clones of me and Itachi will retrieve our family's ashes, Naruto adds, standing up, and Lucas leaps onto Anko's shoulder. How about me? Mabui inquires. A clone will take you to Wave and perform the Sosei, Naruto responds, and Mabui nods slowly as a clone appears. If we come across Konoha forces, Tsunade says, and Naruto runs his finger across his neck before cloning more members for each team. Let's get this party started. We should be home by dawn, Naruto says, and they all vanish. Temple of the Uzumaki Mask. Kuretsuchi whistles when he sees the dilapidated temple. This should tell you something. How much Konoha respects Uzushio. She claims Naruto creates several dozen clones, and Itachi creates one, indeed, he says. Why are you going to this temple now, Naruto-kun? Itachi asks. As they enter the temple, Naruto sighs. I'm ashamed to say it wasn't a priority, but I did place a barrier seal, he says. Kuretsuchi looks around but keeps her fox ears up, commenting, this must be quite the place. After my mother died, it fell into disrepair. Even though I was in Uzumaki, maintaining this place was not a priority, Naruto says as he places his hand on a plain wall. Kushina-sama would cry, Itachi says as the wall glows and falls to reveal a room. These masks are sacred to my clan, Naruto says, unfurling a storage scroll and rolling it along the ground. Naruto raises his hands, and his chains emerge, latching onto the masks and securing them to the storage scroll. Any of these masks could summon the Shinigami, and you can imagine the consequences, Naruto says, widening Itachi's eyes. They will go into the vault and never see the light of day, Naruto says as the mask sinks into the scroll and folds up. Naruto. We've got incoming, Kuratsuchi says as Naruto seals the scroll in his chest. That means Orochimaru succeeded, Naruto says as they walk to the entrance. Outside stood Orochimaru, Gurren, Jugo, Suigetsu, and a cloaked figure. Kukuku. Naruto-kun, you have certainly grown, he says, and the cloaked figure perks up. Naruto takes off his hood and walks down the stairs, leaving Itachi and Kuratsuchi on the landing. Where is Sasuke? I doubt he'd pass up this opportunity. The two sources of his misery are right in front of you, Orochimaru laughs as Naruto says. Don't be concerned. Danzo will notify him as soon as possible. Naruto-kun comes to mind. You have wowed me. You are no longer that gullible idiotic child, says Orochimaru. You are correct. However, you are still a snake who steals bodies. When Naruto raises his right hand, Suigetsu is yanked forward. I warned you.
Those who dishonor the dead are doomed to join their ranks, Naruto says as he rips Sujutsu's soul out before it can liquefy. Orochimaru's eyes widen, but they widen even more when Naruto takes off his glasses, revealing his Rinnegan. How did you get that eye? Exclaims Orochimaru. Naruto rolls his neck to pick up the Kubikiribocho, a gift from an old friend, he says, resting the large blade on his shoulder. Orochimaru grits his teeth but gradually relaxes, saying, "It's such a shame I can't take your body," and raising a ram sign. The figure advances and removes their hood, revealing a woman with long red hair and Edo Tensei markings.
Hello, Naruto-kun, says Kushina. Naruto closes his eyes and rolls his neck a few times to calm himself down, saying, "Hello mother." Kukuku, you should be honored, Naruto-kun. I have returned your mother to you, says Orochimaru. Honored? You disturbed my mother's sleep and have the audacity to tell me I am honored? Naruto says with a dark tone in his voice. Orochimaru snickers as he raises his hand with the command kunai, but gasps as Naruto grabs his hand and expels his Biju chakra. As his other crumples, Orochimaru opens his mouth and his new body emerges to land next to Jugo. I won't be able to control myself, Naruto-kun, says Kushina, turning to attack him, but Naruto places a hand on her chest and a seal array forms. Kushina comes to a halt, a paralysis seal, she says, and Naruto nods, turning his gaze to Orochimaru. She isn't the only one I can summon, sneers the last remaining Sannin in Konoha, but screams in pain as a lightning spear is thrust through his shoulder. Do not think. I would give you a chance, Naruto says, his left hand crackling with Raiden as he stares at the Sannin. Jugo shoots with his right arm, which is growing in size, but he is grabbed and lifted into the air by a red skeletal hand. Gurren advances, but is quickly encased by rock due to Kuratsuchi. You owe me a great deal, Orochimaru, and I'll take my pound of flesh, she says as she slams Jugo to the ground, clutching his shoulder in pain. However, when Naruto puts his hand on her shoulder, he has a few more years to live. Let him tell Sasuke that I'm back and that he will never, ever, Ever. 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 Ever, he claims. Naruto-kun is correct. Run Snake and inform everyone that Kuroi Yuhi will bring about their last sunset. Kuretsuchi claims Orochimaru glares with hatred in his eyes and tries but fails to bring Kushina. Sasuke will hunt you down, Naruto, he hisses. As they sink into the ground, Gurren breaks free and grabs Jugo. Naruto looks at Kushina with a glum expression on his face, but she simply smiles. It's okay, sweetie. Just know that I adore you. I've been missing out on so much of your life, she claims. Naruto blinks as tears form in his eyes. I've tried my hardest. Kurama saved me from a life of servitude. He gave me this and made me strong, he begins, shocking Kushina by revealing his tails and ears. I'm not particular about what I eat. I have several people who genuinely care about and love me, Naruto goes on, making Kuretsuchi and Itachi smile. Tears begin to fall down Naruto's cheeks. I'm doing everything I can to live my life to the fullest and I tried to hear Gigi. Just tell Dad I'm fine, he says, releasing the Edo Tensei. It's alright, Naruto. Minato and I can rest easy. Knowing our living legacy lives on, Kushina says as her soul returns to the Pure Land. Naruto sobs softly, falls to his knees, and covers his mouth with his fox ears, flattening. We should leave. The others should be completed right now. He gets to his feet and grabs the Kabikirabocho. Kuretsuchi and Itachi grab hold of him and comfort him before disappearing in a white flash. Anbu headquarters. He was right under our noses, Danzo says, staring at the multiple reports of the attack that went unnoticed. Shikaku, Orochimaru, and Asuka were also present in Danzo's office. Naruto has become extremely astute. He created this persona and reputation, allowing him to move undetected. He purposefully told us that he was in Earth Country, which sparked tensions with Iwa. Shikaku elaborates. Then it proves Shikamaru's theory and almost confirms that Tsunade and the other deceased are alive, Asuma says, fist clenched. Naruto-kun has grown in power, Kukuku. He has obtained his mother chakra chains and the Rinnegan. When Orochimaru speaks, the room falls silent. The youngster has declared war on us. Multiple assassinations and a missing heiress, Danzo asserts. Shikaku says Amendokase. He has, indeed. Our clan's research facilities, as well as several supply houses, were destroyed. Hyuga compound and the Jinchuriki hospital, he elaborates. Why would he choose her? She is a Jinchuriki, after all, Orochimaru chuckles, causing the Sarutobi clan head to squint. According to that anonymous letter, Naruto-kun wants the Biju to be like the Akatsuki. He wants the concept of Jinchuriki to be abolished, Orochimaru explains. The boy is hopelessly naive, but if given the means, he can predict where he will go. Iwa. Suna. Arkumo, Danzo says. Shikaku folds his chin in thought. Suna would be his first choice. Kage-sama is an old friend, he says. Danzo sits back in his chair, his eyes closed. Suna has most likely severed ties with us. Asuma, I'd like you to lead a team to Suna. Take your nephew's team. Together with Guy, Kakashi, and 2 Nei squads. Apply pressure on the Kage to reveal Uzumaki's location, he claims. I'd like to volunteer myself as well as my team. Shikamaru's whereabouts will be known to Naruto, as both men excuse themselves, Shikaku says, and Danzo slowly nods. Sasuke-kun will not sit still. Neither do the clan heirs. Orochimaru says something, but Danzo shakes his head. They will carry out the order. Only a few people will be aware that Uzumaki is still alive, Danzo claims. Kukuku, which used to work so well. Especially since you had Naruto status Kuns revealed by your Nei, says Orochimaru. If Hiruzen had given him to me, none of this would have happened. Jinchuriki must be isolated. Jinchuriki Kushina and Mito Uzumaki should have been used instead. Orochimaru remains silent as Danzo speaks. Country of the Waves. Naruto sits with Haru in his lap while Fu sleeps soundly, but she slowly scrunches her face and opens her eyes. Where am I? She asks, looking around but seeing Naruto. Naruto-san, Fu says, and Naruto nods slowly, assisting her in sitting up. Just call me Naruto, and this is Haru, Naruto says, as Haru yips. Fu clutches the sheets. Shibuki-Nisan is dead, isn't he? She asks, and Naruto nods. What occurred? Do you recall anything? Naruto inquires, and Fu clutches her head but nods slowly. Shinobi was approached by a mean woman wearing a blank mask. Shibuki-Nisan was ordered to hand me over. Fu begins but sniffles. Because the woman was from Konoha, the council wanted to, but Shibuki-Nisan refused. And she murdered him, Fu continues, tears streaming down her cheeks. Then Danzo attempted to use his Nei indoctrination on you, but Chome protected your mind. It was a failure, says Naruto, and Fu nods, wiping her tears. Haru leaps onto Fu's lap and yips for her to pet her. Is she a normal fox? Fu inquires. Yeah. I gave her some of my chakra. Similar to what Sensei Kurama did to me, says Naruto. So Kurama actually saved someone. Lucky, Chome says as Fu tilts her head, but Naruto holds out his fist. The two quickly find themselves in their shared mindscape, and Naruto gets his first full view of Chome. Chome is a blue, armored kabutomushi with green insect wings on 6 of his 7 tails. Wait a minute, we'll have some more guests, Naruto says, focusing on the chakra of the others as Isobu and Seiken appear, followed by Shukaku and Gaara. You were able to find her, Gaara says, and Fu blushes because Gaara is so handsome. I did, but it appears I will have to use force with the others, Naruto says as he transforms into his full fox form. Something happened? Isobu inquires, and Naruto nods. Yondaime Reikage wanted to meet with me. I revealed my ancestry and my ambitions. He addressed Yugito and Darui as his Jinchuriki, Naruto elaborates. Humans are very stupid, says Seiken. Only a Jinchuriki understands the agony of being a Jinchuriki. He thinks I'm stupid for trying to change the status quo, Naruto growls, which proves I'm right to take you all from them. He continues. He. We should crush them all, says Shukaku, but Naruto shakes his head. I'll deal with him in my own way. Following that, he sent a letter declaring that Ghost and I are the same person, as stated by Naruto. So Konoha is now aware. What are your plans for the future? Gaara inquires. Naruto transforms back into a human and rolls his neck. They are unable to locate me. Spring is safe and secure. They have no idea we're in Wave, but I've sent them a message. I carried out some calculated strikes on the village, but Konoha will not be idle. They'll be dispatching a team to Suna shortly, he elaborates. More than likely for your whereabouts, Gaara says, and Naruto nods before turning to look at Fu and Chome. Are you two willing to part ways? You can still communicate here, and Chome can leave some of his chakra, as stated by Naruto. I'm willing. Fu-chan deserves to spread her wings and fly like me, Chome says, as Fu looks up at him. Lucky and I will always be together, he continues. Fu looks to Naruto, will you become my friend? I want to make 100 friends and repay Shibuki Trust Nisans, she claims. Naruto approaches her and ruffles her hair, saying, sure. I'll help you make plenty of friends. Naruto, extend your hand, Chomei says as he shares his chakra with Naruto, causing him to bow. Gaara. Once I've freed Chomei, I'll bring Fu to Suna and deal with the Konoha forces, Naruto says, and Gaara nods, but Naruto leans in closer, and you can get to know him better. Fu blushes as he whispers. The pair's eyes open, and Naruto rises from his seat. The others should be finished with their meals. You're starving, Fu's stomach growls, causing her to hide her face, he says. Naruto leads Fu to the dining room, where Hanabi is seated with Hinata. I'm relieved. We were successful in getting you out, Naruto tells Hanabi, but he can tell the little firecracker is upset with him. She's grateful, and we were able to get Natsu out as well, Hinata says, raising an eyebrow. She was Hanabi's caretaker and a non-combatant. Naruto sat down as Fu stuffed her face, saying, slow down, it won't run away, as Fu puffs her cheeks. After Fu finishes, we're going to Uzushio, then Suna. Konoha is on the move, says Naruto. What about Kumo? Hinata inquires. Naruto bites into a cinnamon bun and licks his finger. We'll all have to deal with them. I'll have to talk some sense into muscle, he claims. Indeed. To call you a naive child, Hinata says, frowning that she now has one fewer bun. Kuretsuchi enters wearing booty shorts and a sports bra. When are we going to deal, Iwa? My clone reports that my security has decreased, but those old fools are still sniffing around, she claims. After Kumo, you'll go ahead and lay the groundwork. Tell him we met a while ago and gauge his reaction. Your father is more mature than Onoki and may play ball, but worst case scenario. I'm taking Han and Roshi. Take away Son Goku and Kakuo and return them unharmed, he elaborates. That might work. Do I also reveal your ancestors? Konoha will undoubtedly release it in order to agitate Iwa, Kuretsuchi asserts. Do people in Iwa still harbor such hatred? Hinata inquires, and Kuretsuchi nods slowly. The old men and those who witnessed the Kiroi Senko in action, as well as Naruto's actions in spring, almost mirror that. Knowing that he is the son of their most despised foe will make things more difficult. As I previously stated, our union is frowned upon, Kuretsuchi asserts. It's a risk, but tell him about our subtle connection, says Naruto, rising from his seat. Are you ready to go, Fu? Asks Naruto, and Fu nods. Naruto kisses Hinata and Kuretsuchi before grabbing his assassin coat and heading to get ready. We'll head to Uzushio for the separation and then to Suna, he says, and Fu nods, before they vanish in a white flash. Sinagakure. Gaara stands about 200 yards in front of the ray of sky, arms folded, with Temari and Kankuro nearby. The combined Konoha force of Asuma, Kakashi, Guy, Konohamaru Corp., the original Ino Shika Cho, and a dozen Nei Anbu stood across from them. How come such a force has come to Suna? Gaara asks. Kage-sama, it has come to our attention that Naruto Uzumaki is still alive and is the ghost of spring, Shikaku says solemnly. Kankuro exclaims, what? But Gaara raises his gloved hand. So the man who saved me was Naruto, Gaara says. Yes, and it was confirmed by Orochimaru, Kakashi says as he approaches Shikaku. And your point is that Ghost, or Naruto for that matter, saved my brother. When you decided that fighting missing Nin was more important, Temari intervenes, acting her part. Konohamaru yells, he's a demon who killed my grandpa. Temari glares at the boy, making him and his friends flinch. The person who killed the Sandame is now sitting next to Yorokudame. Orochimaru murdered my father and nearly brought our village to its knees by using us as a pawn. Allowing him complete freedom shows how much Konoha values the sacrifices of others by allowing their assassins to walk freely through their village, Gaara claims. Take a look, Kage-sama. All we want to know is where the Kyuubi is. we'll overlook this breach of our agreement. If you tell us where he is, we will find him, says Asuma. Ghost never revealed to me that he was Naruto. If I recall correctly, someone in your village was declared dead and celebrated. Are you certain that the ghost of spring is Naruto Uzumaki? Gaara claims. The cage is correct. Although the letter was anonymous, Asuma did tell us about Shikamaru's theory, though we cannot be certain. Naruto has been missing for the past 2.5 years. More than enough time to reconnect with his former village friends, Shikaku pondered. That could be the case, Kage-sama, but we need to confirm it, Shikaku says. One of the Nei begins to tremble, but then bursts out laughing, shocking the Konoha. If you really wanted to know. I can tell you, he says before shimmering and revealing Naruto with his hood down. The Konoha group goes on alert as Naruto stands with his hands in his pockets and his left eye closed, saying, "Lots of old faces and tormentors too," before iron spears pierce the Nei Anbu. The remaining Konoha forces in the back jump and prepare. Suna will not come to your aid, nor will we help Ghost, Gaara says as he raises his hands, forming a sand platform to return to Sanagakure. So you got to him, Naruto, says Kakashi. Naruto shrugs his shoulders and tilts his head. Gaara is doing the right thing for his village and country. Who would associate with people who violate basic morals by causing harm to a child? He says, scanning them and pointing to each one. You all disobeyed my father's wishes. Choza. You demanded my death twice. The first time was when I was born, and the second time was when I was duped into stealing the sacred scroll. Inoichi, you erased memories of 2 harsh beatings in my formative years, Naruto begins. You murdered my daughter? Exclaims Inoichi. I killed her. Konoha blames me for everything, Naruto says, but Inoichi grits his teeth. It makes no difference. Tsunade Senju and the others are still alive, we know. Your presence here demonstrates this, Shikaku asserts. Naruto snorts and with his right hand ruffles his hair. Well, the cats are out of the bag. Yes, they are still alive and have escaped Konoha's cesspool, he claims. Demon, take that back. Konohamaru yells, and Naruto grins, showing his teeth. So why should I? That is correct. Examine your surroundings. They have all spit on Gigi's sacrifice. His own son is friends with his murderer. When Danzo became Hokage, you welcomed Orochimaru back into the village. Regardless of what he did, you welcomed him back. Would you be willing to do the same for me? If I agreed to be your weapon, says Naruto. Then, Naruto, surrender. Your actions are most unyouthful, Guy says. Naruto's left eye gradually opens. My actions are not youthful. You are far too nice a person. Shame, he says as he thrusts his right arm forward. As a large double-edged sword is embedded through Guy, everyone gasps. The blade is wide enough to serve as a shield, and the pommel features a large crescent moon design with white wrapping. Guy. Guy? Kakashi exclaims, racing to him, but it's too late. Asuma quickly arms himself with trench knives. You bastard, he yells, but gasps when he sees the Rinnegan. It's battle strategy. Take out the most powerful opponent first, says Naruto with a scowl on his face. Kakashi pulls up his Hite-8. Naruto, you will pay for this. For far too long, your presence has resulted in devastation, he says, but Naruto laughs. Oh my goodness. So you want to pin everything bad that has happened to me since I was born on me? Naruto says, slamming his hand into the sand. As 3 puffs of smoke and Naruto's paths appear, everyone is on high alert. Oh Obito, says Kakashi, his eyes widening and flickering in surprise. That's right, Obito Uchiha, your teammate and student Ino. Asuma-san, says Naruto. Ino's head is sewn back on, complete with chakra receivers and a Rinnegan in her left eye. Karen stood next to Ino, who had several piercings on her body, and Obito stood beside her. "You bastard!" exclaims Inoichi. "The paths of sin," Naruto says, and Kakashi's brow furrows. "Calm down, Kakashi." Inoichi. "It's what he wants," Shikaku says, turning his gaze to Naruto. "What have you done?" he asks. "I'm proving a point. Obito was the Uchiha who stole Kurama from my mother and set him loose on Konoha," Naruto says as he walks past him. "You're lying," yells Kakashi, but Naruto taps his Rinnegan. "I ripped out his soul and learned a lot. As you can see, he survived the mission and was saved. He eventually saw you kill Rin, and it warped him beyond measure, setting in motion the events of my birth." Naruto smirks, "and in some ways, you were responsible for the Kyuubi attack." He laughs as he continues. Kakashi clenches his fists and lowers himself to attack Naruto, but a crimson barrier appears around them. "I don't want any of you to flee. This is the same barrier that Orochimaru employed," Naruto says as he takes off his assassin coat. As they prepare, Choza grows in size, but Naruto shakes his head and raises his left hand to form a bow staff from his Gudama. "I'll give you a sporting chance," says Naruto as he spins the bow staff. "Don't underestimate us, brat." Asuma clenches his fists as his trench knives hum with futon. Naruto chuckles. "You know I could finish this in a matter of seconds." "I am familiar with the Hiraishin as well as many other skills," Naruto adds, putting them on the defensive. Choza advances as Kakashi and Asuna rush Naruto from the sides, but his paths are blocked. Ino severs her right arm and launches several missiles, causing Kakashi to break left, but Obito presses him. Karen summons a swarm of centipedes to attack Shiku and the others, but Choza crushes them. Each of them, like Naruto, has the Rinnegan in one eye. "We are in a perilous situation," Shikaku thought, but his danger senses kicked in, causing him to turn around and see Naruto standing behind them. Konohamaru creates a Rasengan clone, but Naruto raises his right hand and absorbs the attack before kicking Konohamaru in the stomach. "Konohamaru-kun! Konohamaru!" yell Udon and Moegi. "I find your fickleness hurtful," Naruto says as he slams his boot on Konohamaru's head. "Let him go," Moegi yells. "Why? You're attempting to murder me. Why should I be objective?" Naruto pushed Konohamaru deeper into the sand. Shikaku exclaims, "Kageme no Jutsu success." Choza. Choza raises his weapon, but Naruto transforms his bow into Gudama and sends them through Choza. The Akamichi clan head gasps, his eyes wide, as blood pours from his wounds and his body crumbles into dust. "Choza! You bastard!" Inoichi exclaims as he prepares to use his Shinrenshin no Jutsu. However, as Inoichi employs the jutsu, Naruto transforms into Udon and destroys the boy's mind. Udon collapses to the ground, his face expressionless. Auto. Killing children. Konoha's default, Naruto exclaims as he pulls Banryu from Guy's body. "Have I shattered your perceptions that I am not the same Naruto?" says Naruto, forming an enlarged arm. Konohamaru and Miyogi were stunned, but Shikaku was devising a strategy. He has, indeed. That is iron sand. How does he control it and Rinnegan with those strange orbs? It sliced through Choza and reduced him to dust. He no longer has them, but they could be hidden somewhere, Shikaku pondered. The crackle of Raiden erupts as Kakashi rushes towards Naruto, but he doesn't bother looking back. I've seen that trick enough times. It was shoved into my chest twice, Naruto says, but his Rinnegan pulses and Shikaku takes his place as Kakashi connects with his Raikiri and his eyes widen. No. He pondered. Shikaku. Inoichi exclaims, but says nothing else as Naruto slashes him across the waist with an iron sand sword. As Naruto approaches, Miyogi and Konohamaru collapse on their backs in terror. Demon brat. Asahi yells, Shunshin's behind Naruto, Charka engulfing his blades, but the sand surrounds him and blocks his attack. Naruto, you will pay for each one, Kakashi says, deadly cold, as his left eye transforms into his Mangekyo. Asuma back jumps as the sand forms spikes, but gradually returns as Naruto turns to his former sensei and his Gigi's son. Pay? I've already paid Konoha enough, Naruto says, his iron sand forming a spiked mace. Kakashi focuses his Mangekyo as a swirl forms on the sand and begins to suck, just die Naruto. He yells, but his breath becomes labored as a blade protrudes from his back. You first, Kakashi-sensei, Ino says in the voice of Naruto. Asuma quickly attempts to sever Ino's head, but his efforts are futile because his chest is blown out by a Gudama. Asuma spits blood and crumbles as Kakashi slumps off of Ino's blade. Naruto turns his attention to Konohamaru and Moegi, saying, now what shall I do with you? Konohamaru rises to his feet, a kunai in his hand, and exclaims, why you are a demon. Naruto frowns slightly, but his foxtails and ears appear, so you're similar to them Konohamaru. Sheep who believe everything Danzo and his ilk say, he claims Konohamaru charges Naruto, but he snatches the kunai from his grasp and grabs the boy with one of his tails. I am extremely disappointed in you. I honestly thought you were unique, but you are a child, he says this while tossing Konohamaru back to Miyogi. Run. Return to Konoha and inform them of what you witnessed. Tell them I'm going to destroy Konoha. The great tree's root and stem will burn, Naruto says as he lowers the barrier. As Naruto surveys the damage and orders his paths to cut off Kakashi's head, Konohamaru and Miyogi rush for the Fire Country lands. I can collect one of their bounties, Naruto reasoned, recalling all his iron sand. As Naruto picks up Ino's head, he muses, alas Ino Yamanaka. I knew you her. Naruto reattaches the head to her body with a seal before dispelling his paths. Now then, says Naruto, rolling his neck a few times before disappearing in a white flash. Tsunagakure. Naruto walks into Gaara's office and finds him at his desk with Fu on a sofa with Temari. Is it done? Gaara asks, slowly nodding. It's finished. I've dealt with the dead. I only had 2 survivors, Naruto makes a remark. Who? Temari inquires, and Naruto casts a glance her way. Konohamaru Sarutobi, the Sandame's grandson, and his friend Miyogi, says Naruto. Gaara leans back in his chair and asks, so what now? Naruto looks at Fu and rubs his neck, now I'm off to Kumo to deal with that. I'll leave some clones and spiders near the ray of sky in case anything goes wrong, he claims. Also, Fu will be staying behind, but you must wear a henge, Naruto adds, drawing a gasp from Fu. Are you certain about that? Temari inquires. Naruto creates several clones who quickly vanish. Taki could be a problem now that she is no longer a Jinchuriki. A change of scenery may also be beneficial, he responds. Fu gets up from the sofa and hugs Naruto, saying, thank you Naruto-kun, and he smiles. Don't worry about it. We're practically related, after pulling back and raising his hood, Naruto says. Gaara gets up from his seat. Temari, could you accompany Fu to the mansion? I'll be back soon, he claims. I can't wait to introduce Shukaku to Uzushio. You might need him if Konoha becomes agitated, Naruto says, and Gaara nods slowly before vanishing. Kumogakure. Naruto appears in the Valley of Clouds and Lightning, thinking, a good place for a battle, as several Kumo shinobi land around him. "Who are you?" exclaims one. Naruto rolls his neck to remove his hood, the spring ghost. "Inform the Raikage that I am here for his Jinchuriki," to emphasize his point, he says and flares his ki. "Inform Raikage-sama," someone else says. Another flash erupts behind Naruto, revealing his 9 comrades and putting the Kumo shinobi on edge. "Clone told you all," Naruto says, and they all nod. "The loss of them will send shockwaves through Konoha," says Tsunade. "Indeed, losing the Ino Shikacho and 3 powerful Jonin," says Mabui. "I made certain that some clones were left. If Konoha pulls something," says Naruto. Several bolts of lightning erupt in front of them as Naruto removes his assassin coat, revealing A, B, Yugito, and Darui. "So word of your death was a lie, Godem," A says, his gaze fixed on Mabui. Tsunade scoffs, her hand on her hip. "Naruto saved me. Us from Konoha's corruption," she says. "The time for talking has passed. A. You can either let me separate the Biju from Yugito and Darui, or you can see why I am the reincarnation of my father," says Naruto. "I told you, boy. You won't be taking my Jinchuriki." A clenches his fists as his lightning armor churns to life. "Put some distance between us," Naruto says, rolling up his sleeves and shunshin away. As Naruto looks around, A leaps forward with a bolt of lightning, but Naruto vanishes with a somersault. "How about a familiar memory?" says Naruto as he unleashes his Hiraishin Kunai in midair. "You think emulating your father will make me surrender?" A says as he launches as Naruto lands. The mismatched blonde-black hair shinobi uses a skid to sidestep A's fist and closes the gap, but A backhands Naruto into another skid. "Lariat!" A yells, but Naruto ducks under his arm and counters with a mule kick to the back. "You're strong, A, but I'm stronger," Naruto says as he picks up one of his kunai. As Naruto spins the kunai in his hand, A surges his armor to the point where his hair flares out. "Darui and Yugito will not be harmed in any way. Gyuki and Matabi are all I want. They are entitled to liberty just as much as anyone else," says Naruto. A lowers his stance and launches forward, his lightning armor cracking the ground. As Naruto throws his Hiraishin Kunai forward, it reaches A, but he smacks it aside, which proves costly. Naruto saw a Rasengan forming on the kunai and thought, "Hiraishin Rasengan," slamming it into A. As Naruto drives A into the ground shudders and a crater form. Naruto lands, but an upsurge of chakra causes him to be struck by a large wolf paw. As a large dark blue wolf with 8 lightning-charged tails stands over Naruto, he slams into one of the small mountains. Darui lowers his stance and asks, "How's the boss?" "He'll survive," B says as he approaches A. As Naruto appears in his full fox form, another surge of charka forms with a burst of red light.
"Oi Darui."
"He's got Isobu. Seiken. Shukaku, and Chomei's charka," says Gyuki. Darui examines the form of Naruto but notices that 4 of his 9 tails have changed. "This is boring. You can use this," he thought, relinquishing control. Gyuki roars, "Oh yeah. Naruto Uzumaki. Show me your power," he exclaims. "Hey. The difference between Hachibi and Kyubi is large," Naruto says with a deep chuckle in a lowered stance. As the Kumo group shunshins to the top of the mountain steps, B and Yugito assist A in getting to his feet. Both titanic beasts rush each other and collide, releasing water and cracking the ground. The fox and wolf try to gain ground on each other, but Naruto backs up as Gyuki opens his mouth to fire a concussive bolt of lightning. Naruto counters with a blast of acidic mist, but Gyuki dodges, thinking, he does have the other's chakra. Naruto hangs himself from a smaller mountain. Gyuki, I'm doing this to set you free. For far too long, the elemental nations have treated Biju as a toy. That is not the life Hagoromo Jiji envisioned for you, he says this while dodging another bolt of lightning. Then beat me, and I'll follow you, yells Gyuki. Naruto narrows his eyes and rushes Gyuki, but shifts back into his human form as chains erupt from his body, entangling Gyuki. What is this? Gyuki exclaims. These chains can be used to restrain a Biju. This was done to Kurama by my mother, Naruto says, entering Gyuki's mind. For real. Kurama got beat by these chains, Gyuki says as he relinquishes control of Darui, allowing him to return to normal. Darui says, this is dull. It can be, Naruto says as he rolls his neck and looks up, so do you yield? He exclaims. As Naruto's friends return, and his group shunshin down. Take them, says his pride stinging. Alright, I need to see your seals, Naruto says to Yugito and Darui. Yugito takes a step forward, removing the beads and wrapping from her arm. Naruto constructs a barrier and begins to unseal Matabi from Yu-Gi-Oh! Soon after, the giant Bakaneko appears, and Naruto resurrects Yu-Gi-Oh! Matabi leaves some of her chakra for Yu-Gi-Oh! And gives some to Naruto, saying, you'll be able to use blue flames. Naruto repeats the process with Gyuki and develops a stronger attachment to Raiden. The two Biju shrink to travel size as Naruto turns to and says, you're doing the right thing. Get out of my country, young man. I'm sure you'll all be in the bingo book, says Naruto rubs his neck, and two tails emerge, one dark blue with black swirls and the other cobalt blue with black swirls. You won't be the first to want me dead, Naruto says as his friends grab his tails and a miniature Biju leaps onto his shoulder. Darui asks as the entire group vanishes in a white flash, what now, boss? Get the word out on Uzumaki. The Shiro Senko, says before returning to Kumogakure. Konohagakure. Konohamaru and Miyogi stand before Danzo and Orochimaru, recounting their mission's failure and the massacre of their squad. Danzo tightens his fist, so he believes, arrogantly. He has the ability to make us fearful, he claims. Naruto-kun has dealt a devastating blow to Kukuku. Shikaku was our Jonin commander, and our three top Jonin were with him, Orochimaru adds his thoughts. With an angry expression on his face, Danzo dismisses the two teenagers, it's more than a setback. Kakashi possesses the Mangekyo Sharingan, and the boy is responsible for the Kyuubi attack, he claims. Naruto-kun always seems to be one step ahead of us. I'm sure he has spies in the village, states Orochimaru. The door slams open as Sasuke enters with the remaining rookies, but Tenten was in a wheelchair assisting Neji and Lee. Danzo finally clears his throat after a few minutes. Suna's mission was a failure. Except for Konohamaru Sarutobi and Miyogi Utatane, there are no survivors, he claims. Choji's eyes widen in surprise as he says, am my father. Uncle Shikaku and Uncle Inoichi. Jigai's Sensei, Lee says, tears streaming down his cheeks. Sasuke has a blank expression on his face and asks, who's responsible? Kukuku. Ghost. But we've learned he's very familiar with Konoha, Orochimaru says, narrowing Sasuke's eyes. Ghost is in fact Naruto Uzumaki, the Kyuubi Jinchuriki, Danzo says, and the room falls silent, but Sasuke erupts with ki. You told me the Dobi was dead. Screams Sasuke. The other rookies were doing no better, he is correct. You said he was no longer alive, says Kiba. My weapon was Uzumaki. Jiraiya was supposed to use his training trip to bring me under Tsunade's nose and facilitate her fall, but the boy escaped and has been hiding for the last 3 years, Danzo asserts. That could mean she's still alive, Neji says, clutching his cane. It's almost certain. Tsunade and the other victims of the tower explosion are still alive and a part of Naruto Kuroi-kun's Yuhi, says Orochimaru. So he was right under our noses the entire time, but his scent didn't match, Kiba explains. What does it matter? Where is he? I'll hunt him down, says Sasuke, but Danzo raises his hand. At the moment, we don't know. He's been on the ground since I invited him here. Constantly moving. His Kuroi Yuhi has also gained a reputation in such a short period of time, Danzo asserts. Then we should wipe out Spring and force him out, Sasuke hisses, but his eyes narrow as he notices Naruto and Itachi in the shadows. We can't act rashly, Sasuke-kun. Fire Country's image has recently been tarnished, and eradicating Spring would cause unnecessary complications. For the time being, Naruto-kun sets the pace, states Orochimaru. Use this to become stronger. Bring Uzumaki to me. Crushed, Danzo claims as Orochimaru chuckles. The rookies slowly trickle out. Why didn't you tell them Naruto-kun is the owner of the Rinnegan? You are preying on the anger of someone who regards emotions as a liability, he claims. Tools needed sharpening, Danzo says, and Orochimaru laughs again. The rookies in Konoha were digesting the news about Naruto. Choji stood in front of his father's makeshift grave, his eyes red and puffy. Naruto, you murdered my father. Uncles and Ino. Did you also murder Shikamaru? Choji clenches his fists in thought. Choji hisses, I'll kill you, Naruto. The ruby-eyed Kunoichi sobs uncontrollably at the loss of her husband in the home of Kurenai and Asuma, but she turns enraged towards Hinata and Naruto. I'll destroy you both with my strongest genjutsu, Kurenai reasoned. At the same time, Kiba was arguing with his clan's elders about his mother and sister's survival. In another part of the village, Neji was kneeling as he told Hiashi about Hinata's survival. So my failure of a daughter could be the one to blind you, Hiashi says. Neji nods slowly, Hiashi-sama, you are correct. It would explain why Hanabi was kidnapped and how she was able to pick apart my personality. He claims Haishi's fists are clenched within his robe, then we must move quickly. One of our branches will donate their eyes to you, Neji gasps as he says this. Yes, Hiashi-sama, says Neji. Meanwhile, apparitions of Naruto and Itachi tormented Sasuke, causing him to lose his mind and vision. Country of the Waves. Shikamaru sits, his eyes closed, tears streaming down his cheeks, his form slightly gaunt from his confinement. Did he suffer? Shikamaru inquires. Kakashi drove his Chidori through his chest, Naruto says as he touches his chest. It's not pleasant, he adds.
Naruto, you're a jerk. My father could have been saved, Shikamaru expresses himself. Naruto sighs and uncrosses his legs. Yes, your father was neutral, but he chose to disregard my father's wishes. My parents had infused the seal with their chakra. I learned a lot, he says this while looking Shikamaru in the eyes. My father saved them numerous times during the war, but when it came to honoring his dying wish, he, like many others in Konoha, chose not to honor the wishes of the dead. They hold my father in high regard, but why bother honoring the wishes of the dead? Naruto continues. Shikamaru remains silent for a few moments. You said no one is innocent in Konoha. But what about newborns or children who are completely unaware of what is going on? You'd really kill them to exact your vengeance on Konoha, he says this while staring at Naruto with mismatched eyes. You kill them, and you're the same as Konoha, Shikamaru adds. Naruto-kun is nothing like Konoha, Hinata says as he approaches. Naruto kisses her hand as she sits in his lap, saying, we'll save the truly innocent.
How about Choji or Tenten? Konohamaru. He was your Kahai, Shikamaru suggests. Naruto tilts his head, a distant expression on his face. Yes, Konohamaru was my Kahai, but he chose to turn against me. He allowed Asuma and the Sarutobi to enter his mind. Danzo poisoned good people with his propaganda, but I will cleanse the poison from root to stem. I will not abandon any of them. If even one person manages to escape, the poison will spread and continue to poison good people, he claims as Naruto rises to his feet. Hinata gets off his lap and says, as for the other rookies, we'll see if they step up or stand aside and can be cured of that poison, as they leave a quiet Shikamaru. Hinata and Naruto return to the main compound and have dinner with his friends before cornering him in his bedroom and exploiting him. Nightfall. Naruto lies on his custom-made bed, his mismatched eyes fixed on the ceiling. Tsunade was on his left side of the chest, Hinata on his right, and Anko was on his lower half. Shizune, Itachi, and Sakura were snuggled up next to Tsunade with Mabui and Mei. Kuretsuchi had returned to Iwa to set up a meeting with Kitsuchi to discuss the Biju. Naruto falls asleep and fantasizes about the future, when he will have a slew of children to spoil and love. The new Kyuubi noticed several children who resembled his friends. However, with a furrowed brow, Naruto's eyes snap open, causing Tsunade to awaken. What's the matter, Naruto? Asks Tsunade. Get everyone up, Naruto says, climbing over Anko as he slowly moves Hinata off of him. An interesting turn of events, Naruto thinks as he walks to his bathroom and cleans himself up a little. Naruto returns to his bedroom, where everyone is undressed except Anko, who is completely naked. What's wrong, Naruto-kun? Hinata inquires. Someone contacted Madame Yumi, Naruto scratches behind his ear. For what? Asks Anko. Naruto sighs and rubs his temples, apparently, the daughter of the fire daimyo. She has been in exile and now desires the throne, he elaborates. For a few moments, the room was silent. Could this be a trap? The daimyo must be aware that you are now in the open, says Mabui. Yumi hasn't let me down yet, but this is an intriguing twist. My little black book must be being used by the daughter to depose her father from the throne, as stated by Naruto. Yumi-san stated that the daimyo is after Uzu's wealth and that his nephew and son are causing him concern. If she takes the throne, she may put significant pressure on Konoha, Sakura expresses herself. Or be like the rest of her family, Hinata observes. Naruto sighs and folds his arms, both points are correct. Sakura and I will see Yumi tomorrow and vet the princess before heading to Iwa, he claims. Will Kuretsuchi be able to come through? Sakura inquires, and Naruto shrugs. Dunno. The Yondaime has yet to press Konoha on Jiraiya and those nay, but he could be biding his time, Naruto says as he climbs back into bed. Anyway, let's get some sleep and think about it tomorrow. Naruto-kun, not happening. We've awoken and require more sex, Mei says as she pounces on the blonde, sparking another orgy.
So that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel for more awesome stories like this. Thank you. See you all in my next video.